In this video, I will tell you about the polar array tool of AutoCAD. So in the previous case, we have seen the rectangular array, and using the rectangular array, you were able to add objects in the rectangular direction in the horizontal and vertical direction. Using the polar array, you can add objects along a circular circumference. For example, here we have this circular table and we have this chair. Let's say that we want to add multiple chairs along the circumference of this table. For that, we can use the polar array. So on the modify panel, expand the flyout, the array flyout, and select this polar array. Now you need to select the objects. So here's the object, select it, and we want to make an array from this object. So select, press enter. Now you need to specify the center point of array. So the center point of array will be the center point of this circle. And now here we have it, a default array in this case. So again, we need to change the objects, and here in this case we have these 6 objects, but we want 8 objects. So let's click here and let's now change it to 8 objects and press tab key. Now we have 8 objects here in this case. Now the angle between all of these objects is automatically calculated, and here it is 45 degrees, and also the total angle is 360 degrees. But you may or may not want this value. Let's say that we want to fill this complete set of chairs in between the 3 quadrants. We don't want any chair in this quadrant, let's say. And for that, I'll simply change this value to 270 and then press the tab key. And now here we have it. So now the chairs are arranged, all of the 8 chairs, but they are arranged in between the 270 degree angle, and we don't have any chair in this quadrant. If you want to change this value back, then simply select 360 degree angle. Now they are completely filled here. Similarly, we have the number of rows, which is 1. You can change it to 2 or 3 or whatever value you want, but obviously in this case we don't want these many rows, so I'll simply change it to 1 once again. And the level is simply the number of objects in the z-axis, which will not be visible in this case. Now if you recall the previous case, we have made an associative array in case of rectangular array, and using the associative option we were able to modify the array even after creating that. So we will again keep this option checked in this case. We will make it associative, and later on we will modify some of the objects in this array also. Now we have an option here which is rotate items. So currently the objects are completely aligned towards center, so all of these objects are simply rotating. But what if you don't want that? For that, simply click on this rotate items, and now you can see that the original object and its configuration will be retained for all of its array copies. So if you want this kind of array, you can keep this unchecked, but we don't want this, so I'll keep it checked so that the chairs are aligned towards center. And now click on close array. So now we can again modify this set of array, and for that I'll select the array and click on edit source. And once again I'll click on this object, select the array, click on OK if this message appears, and let's modify it. So I'll add a circle here, and you'll see that the same circle is added on all its copies. Now I'll save the array. And here we have it. Now even if you want to change any single object from this array, you can do that also. So I'll select the array once again, and now I'll select this replace item. And now we need a replacement item for this, so we need to first insert an object. So I'll select this block here. Now we'll learn about these blocks later on, and for now just make a mental note of this. So here we have this object. Now once again I need to go to the array, so select the array, again go to this replace item, and now select the replacement object, which is this one, and now press enter. Now you need to specify the base point of replacement object, which is somewhere in the middle here. Now we need to specify the array object which you want to replace. So let's replace this chair. So I'll select this chair and select the array, and here we have it, the replacement object is added. Now simply press enter and press enter again to exit this. You can also close this array. Now we have 2 objects here, and we need to delete the original arrayed object. So I'll select this one, erase it, and now here we have it. So now this copy is a part of new array, and it has been added as a replacement. We can now erase this object also, it's no longer required. So in this way you can replace any copy of this array from the complete set. Now in this case if you select any single element of this array, all the objects will be selected, because while making the array we kept it as associative. Now if you want to make these objects completely separate from one another, then you need to explode the complete array, and you can explode it simply by pressing the X key on the command line and then pressing enter. So that will explode it, and you can also use the explode tool here, so that will also explode the same set of array. So both are simply same tools. You can use the command equivalent X, or you can use this icon here. Now if you click on any of the object, only that object will be selected, and also this array is no longer associative, and hence we cannot modify it further. But you can obviously replace objects, you can remove them, you can add extra objects if you want, for example here, but it will not remain a part of an array. So this was all about the polar array tool of AutoCAD.